Good morning. This is Pixie doing another video. Right. Just thinking about, there's a few things, little projects I've got. As usual, I like the little projects. So I'm growing something called Pitaya and Pitaya, this is sometimes it's called as well. And it's basically dragon fruit. So I've got some seeds I'm trying to grow. I've also got a plant coming, I believe. But it might turn up loads of seeds instead. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hybridise them with San Pedro or something. I've also got my little let's have a think. Maybe some interesting species. I got a peyotes, but it's gone now. The flower's gone. But what I could do, it still has a certain amount of pollen though. It's got like the male bits and the female bits onto the plant, so it's got these little bits. So it's still letting off the male pollen, so there might be a way I can harvest that, keep it. I might have to freeze some pollen possibly, and I'll just thaw it out slowly, and then I'll apply that to a plant, because cactuses don't produce flowers at certain times of the year. It might be once every so many years. And as a result, it's a little bit hit and miss. So, but the idea is possibly it would have it could produce some form of mesoline. That would be quite an interesting plant, even if it was very low level, especially in the dragon fruit. And it also means people wouldn't have to hack up the plant. So that's my project. However, it doesn't exist yet. So a sand dragon or something, a saint dragon, or it'd be Pedro, Peter, so that's me as well, that's my name. So I could have that mixed in, a Pedro dragon. Or the Pent dragon, see? Pent dragon fruit. Who knows, we just experiment, see what happens. That's the joy of plants. Now the other thing as well about plants, I'm saying it's these extinction group that are out there. And I just don't know what their goals are. They keep quoting science, but in a cult form. They say, well, the science data says. But can they quote any particular names to scientists? This is very important, is that with the process of science, that you validate what's being said. Otherwise I can turn around and say, it says this in the Bible, you should sacrifice kids or something, something crazy. But what the thing is that I've just used it as some reference without explaining anything, and they're saying that the protestors are scientists, some of them are policemen, ex-policemen, all these sorts of things, but there's no name. Then none of them have stepped forward and said I am. The most qualified people have been on TV, but in truth they might not be. They could be, somebody who's got a third-rate degree as a type of solicitor, or he's practiced law at some point, but he doesn't now, and he claims he's a solicitor, goes on TV, and then about getting arrested. But what do they want from government? What are your goals? You've got to have structure and goals. I mean, all you're going to create is a situation where probably the taxpayer will be paying more money towards environmental issues. And the other thing is the defence budget. So what is the environment a bigger threat, environmental change, than Russia? So should they not be utilising that so the army can go off and plant trees or something, or protect areas, of when things are endangered and stuff? Is that more important, maybe, possibly, than a pseudo threat of an invasion or something from Russia? Because it's not going to happen, and it's ridiculous. It's just throwing money away, basically. The banks have enough money, and I've probably been screwed by enough bank managers, so I don't want to send taxes and stuff into accounts that are never going to get used for things that are never going to happen. It's the same, where the military budget should get divided is space. It's the new frontier. That's where your enemy lies, isn't I on the ground? I mean there is the data issues, but that's covered. So you've really got, for the military, you've got issues around technology, data technology and stuff like that, governmental secrets, but that's covered by the NSA and people like that, other agents. because it falls into law. But if it was used as a weaponised, like if I had a load of data and I, gave a pseudo country, let's say Iran, because that seems to get thrown into the mix, even though they're probably not interested in nuclear weapons. So if I sent them a lot of blueprints, it's gone beyond law, it's gone into cyber terrorism, and cyber terrorism can fall under a military thing. So they could use technology possibly to damage the computer. They have got certain things like that. There was something about wiring and currents, and then what you could do is you'd send a charge through the wires, and then when you turn the machine on, it'd blow it up, basically. There's ways to send frequencies in the same way they've got devices to deal with bugs, and the idea is they send frequency pulse through the wiring. That, rats don't like it, cockroaches don't like it, and things like that. So there is weaponised ways of doing things. So it's just one of these open areas for potential research, I guess. And space is, if I were to drop a bomb on someone, probably best from space. You've got less equipment, less defence systems. There's no point, you wouldn't fly a bomber over there, would you? Because it'd get taken out well fast, and other sorts of defence grids. So, it's obsolete. I mean, there's deep sea in another area possibly as well. There's uncharted territory. Like I say, it's the boundaries where we haven't been. I mean, to be honest, there's also other cultures. Some of the sunk continents contain a lot of ancient knowledge in there as well. So I don't understand why that would be of military interest, because there's potentially some weaponised craft that are down there as well. So I'm picking up on that because I think it's like the Indian Gulf around there. There was a big battle in the past. So follow the historic things in the Vedas and all this about these different groups that had a war. And that's why they had certain types of yoga, and I think they're trying to get humans involved as well. And they were setting up caste systems, and what they did as well with human slaves is they added some of their genes, so they got proprietary rights over them or something like that. So if you've got genetic markers in there, then you can say that's my slave. There's some humans are shipped around to the whole galaxy, to be honest. They've got some sick things going on. They've got I wouldn't say they're reptilian, but they got some breeds that do. Yeah, they are pretty odd. They're a bit like Komodo dragons. They do lick the air every so often, but they're not the dragon men we might as well classified. They do have a bunch of mammals, and they do like eating live prey and all sorts of stuff. And they have humans, and what they do is they have a tube. They're like one of the delicacies. They have a tube in their throat, and they force feed them. And the idea is to feed them till they're overweight, because they prefer things blubbery. And if a human refuses that, then they might just eat them anyway. So it's you might get to live, you might get to breed bread, or you might end up at a banquet for one of these guys' birthdays. Every 100 years or something, they do some sort of feast. Yeah, they live. I mean, I think they live a long life, like a crocodile does in human terms, and they just die quickly, basically, when you get to a certain age. But yeah, they're not quite nice. But I don't think they care about kids. It's rather they're interested how fat they can make someone. And they'll be breeding people together to try to make a more fatter species of human. So, different slave class, basically. But it wouldn't matter what race they encountered, they would try to do that as a food source, because they're not vegetarians. They love their meat, and they'll eat certain types of beings. And that's where we fall into their remit. So there's lots of things going out in the universe. And I think that's really where we want to go. This extinction group really want to set their objectives out. I'm not fully against it. I'm just against people throwing money into government or quoting scientists without quoting names, facts. I mean, global change. I mean, I'm looking at it as climate opportunity. So change, that's my agenda, that's my group. It'd be climate opportunity. So what I'm trying to do is introduce new species of plants and beings to, say, the UK or any other country I went to, because the climate favours them. And that has the, well, basically deals with the carbon issues and other issues. There's a lot of rubbish about native species, but I think the woods are fairly sterilised, to be honest. They cut down a lot of the shrubs and things growing in there, and there's people's gardens are a kind of utopia for all sorts of different plants that don't grow in the UK. So yeah. Anyway, this is Pixie signing off from this video. Have a great day and take care and speak to you soon.